From the heart of Kansas City, we bring you Buck and Bob from Chiefs Kingdom with Tom and Mel. I'm Buck.
I'm Tom.
I'm Mel.
We're not fancy analysts, but we have just as many bad takes. Sorry, I
Not
know
as
I didn't.
many tonight, though, because Bob's not here. So I
Yeah.
feel like,
Yeah,
we have less bad takes now.
I tried to do Bob justice with the intro there, and I know it was way off, but I know
You
he'll
did great,
applaud the
Buck.
effort.
I think you did great.
What a freaking game, man. Like, the ending of that game was just I mean, we weren't Bob was standing up for the last half of the fourth quarter and all of overtime. Just he couldn't sit still.
Yeah.
I was on the edge of my seat because I'm a big guy. I'm not standing that long. But I don't know. Tom, you said that you host games at your house. Did you have a lot of people there? Was it crazy?
It's the in-laws, it's not a super huge gathering, but it's a loud gathering. We're all very loud. And I think we all agree that Mahomes should get an endorsement for blood pressure medicine or something.
Yeah,
These games,
100%.
it's just crazy. So, but this time we were on the right side of it, which is a nice change of pace.
Oh, it
that's for
felt
sure.
good for once to not
Yeah, I
have
know.
everything just.
I
was
now
all apart.
I was so convinced we were gonna throw a pick or fumble it, like right when we were in field goal range, and we kept running. I was like, "Yep, that's it. We're done. It's gonna end the
Agreed.
same way the last one did, or something."
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You just
There
keep
were-
waiting for that bad thing to happen.
Uh-huh.
There
And
were
this
a
time
lot
it
of,
was the good thing. So
Thank God.
there were a lot of impressive things that the Chiefs did today, but there were a lot of things that were unimpressive and kind of scary. I mean, I think that's why we felt at the end of the third quarter that the game, I mean, it wasn't over, but it didn't feel like the Chiefs were headed towards a victory at that point. But it was crazy.
The Chiefs definitely didn't have a lot of momentum until the fourth quarter, and they gave up they put up that stat about the fourth quarter where the difference in yards, it was something like 260 for the Chiefs to 18 for the Colts, and they definitely turned it on.
I think it was something like the similar amount of yards the first three quarters as we did total in the fourth quarter. Like, it was nuts. And our defense kind of came alive in the fourth quarter too. Like, we were stopping them. We hadn't been stopping them before that.
The defense played lights out in the fourth quarter and overtime. It was almost a completely different. It was kind of what we expected the defense to be from day one, and it just kind of never happened.
Right.
Now, we still weren't getting pressure with the front four. We were just seeing a lot more blitzes today. I think that's what
I think it came down to more passing situations where you can go in with that blitz a little bit more aggressive. But I shout out to the defense holding Jonathan Taylor under 60 yards for the day. I mean, we were talking about it. What was that Friday night, Buck? We were talking about the fact that the Chiefs have only given up one rusher over 100 yards, and that was Cook during the Buffalo game. Other than that, they can pretty much contain that run, and it's not like they're going up against chumps at running back. So that was impressive. That was a huge part of the game. Make Daniel Jones beat you.
That's exactly what we said, and I specifically, when we called our predictions for the game, my bold prediction was that we were going to hold Jonathan Taylor to under 75 yards and 0 touchdowns, and that's exactly what happened today. They still almost won because Daniel Jones, for the first three quarters, was
he had a game.
Wow, he was good. He was impressive.
He was good.
But then the defense,
he was really heads up. He was hitting receivers in the flat. I mean, just everything that he could do right, he was doing. And no knock on that guy. He's pretty legit. He has been this season. It's not fluky, I don't think. He's a legit quarterback.
100
he didn't
yards.
do anything flashy. Daniel Jones isn't flashy. He's not like, oh wow, I can't believe he made that play. But he just kind of kept it going.
Kind of like Brock Purdy.
Yeah, just kind of did his thing, and it was good enough. But I didn't leave that game thinking, wow, he's unbelievable, I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
But the Chiefs made Jonathan Taylor look pedestrian, except for that one long run that he had. How long was that? I got the stats up here in front of
27.
me. 27.
Yep.
That was.
Him and Hunt like had the same, pretty much the same average per attempt, but we ran twice as much with Hunt as they did with Taylor, which is
the
nuts.
Biggest thing that I want to call out in this game is look at what happens when you use the run game. Right? And how it can change when Mahomes is overthrowing people and he's still got this nervous factor about him. You can just see it. I mean, he's just, there's something that he's nervous about. And it's almost like he doesn't trust his receivers. I'm still not sure exactly what these nerves are that Mahomes has going on. But when you can lean on the run game, then that's not as big a deal.
And Hunt did it. And I will say, Hunt looked like he was 50 years old trying to get up from the ground after every run after the first half. Like,
let me tell you,
struggle busting it.
That ain't easy.
Yeah.
Those knees at 50 years old, I'm telling you, man.
Yeah. He was struggling.
It's going to be a long ice bath and a short break until they play again on Thursday.
I know. That's a scary thing.
Such a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
I do believe we'll have Pacheco back for that game.
You think so?
I mean, everybody thought he was going to be playing this game, and then he was a scratch. I think on Friday or maybe early yesterday, they said that he wasn't going to be playing. So I expect him to be back next game, and I think they're going to need him because I think Hunt's going to be sore for a little bit.
Oh, for sure, especially with the quick turnaround. And I'm excited though, but I really hope. I'm very proud of the offense for running it 30 times, even though we were with Hunt, even though we were down the majority of the game, right?
Oh, up until the very end.
Yeah.
So 36 times we ran with running backs today. Are we going to see that again this season? I don't think so.
I don't know. I mean, when was the last time we saw
why did we do it today?
It
worked.
It did. It was
kind
of maddening at times when we're down by a score, but the score is 8. You know, were we ever down by 2?
Yeah.
I think we were. Yeah, I think
for sure. Right. It was
14-3 at one time. Yeah. Pretty sure.
The first quarter it was 7-0. The second quarter it was 14-9. The third quarter, the end of the third quarter, it was 20-9.
There's usually a breakdown that tells you each score and how it changed, but I'm not finding it.
But the end of the third quarter, we were down by 11.
Okay. All right. So, wow.
Yeah.
I will say that one of the frustrations from that game is when you get down to the 1-yard line and then you just proceed to go backwards. That is some of the worst.
For a field goal.
I mean, it doesn't get much more frustrating than that, especially when now I understand Kareem got kind of clobbered on the first run, but just keep going at it. I mean, you can't just, what was it, an incomplete pass on second down, and then Mahomes pretty much got sacked on third down, I think is what it was.
Yeah.
He took a lot of hits today.
He did.
Our red zone efficiency was 1 for 6.
Yeah.
Like we had 17% success in the red zone.
So you hear Andy Reid in the press conferences say almost every week this season, he said, well, we've just got a few things to clean up. And I'll be honest with you, what I saw today on the field as a whole, I feel like they're actually at the point now where they just have a few things to clean up, and this will be a really good product on the field. 1 for 6, but they were moving the ball. When they were moving the ball, they were doing it fairly easily. It didn't seem like they were struggling. Like when they were on, they were on.
Well, there was a lot of pressure on Mahomes. There was, and he didn't have a lot of outs. They were definitely keeping him contained where he wasn't able to scramble as effectively. They were collapsing the pocket, and I think he did better today than I expected him to do under that much pressure. I think he didn't have as, like, of course he, had some bad throws or overthrew some guys or threw way right or left, but he was getting chased for his life most of the game, I felt like.
Mm-hmm.
And that crazy interception on the first possession.
Yeah.
Killed the momentum.
Yeah.
Hell of a play. It really was.
It was a good, it was going to be a big gainer.
Yeah. Tip that and grab it. And, decent tackle by Mahomes.
I know.
Yeah.
Dude, he does. When he makes a mistake, he is all in on, like, making sure that is the least impactful as it needs to be.
That's true.
So I want to speak up for Bob here real quick. When that happened, he was, I don't want to say pissed, because he wasn't trying to lose his positive attitude that early in the game, but he was not happy. He didn't think an RPO was the appropriate call at that point of the game. I mean, it was the first offensive play of the game. It should have just been a little bit more of a quick throw, maybe a run, something, not something so. There's a lot of things that got to go right in an RPO. Yeah. You got to make the right decisions very quickly, and clearly,
and I think
he wasn't able to.
Yeah, part of the complaint is that on an RPO, Mahomes very rarely gives it to the running back.
Mm-hmm.
He likes to keep control of it and, make the play. But sorry if you hear my dog.
Was that Bob?
My dog.
Yeah, they go crazy when somebody's upstairs.
Yeah. So I do think that the offensive line did you guys feel like there was any offensive line person in general that was letting
a problem?
Yeah.
There were a few. I mean, they were letting pressure in, but there weren't. I don't think there was. One?
I don't think it was like always on the right or always on the left. Like, I don't think.
No, it was very pressure. I think they were doing, different things defensively to kind of keep the offensive line on their toes. But there were only a couple of penalties on the offensive line. And nothing on Taylor today, right?
There was. That touchdown got called back because of the make-believe face mask.
That bullshit, yeah. Yeah.
And then there went on to be a couple face masks not called later on in the game. So
several actually on both sides. Honestly, there really was. I don't know if you guys want to shift over to talking about penalties, but I don't know if Mel, if you'll back me up here. We've talked about penalties a lot here in the past, Tom, when it comes into play, and Bob is a lot quicker usually to just go ho-hum on the refs than I am. I hate that reasoning for a loss or a win. I just hate that the refs are a narrative. But man, there were so many mistakes today. They changed the game. They killed the Chiefs' momentum early in the first quarter. It was like any real good positive play by the Chiefs was getting called back. You could pretty much put money on it. It was, and the Chiefs won thanks to a few good penalties against the Colts. But man, these guys were bad.
I want to go and look at these stats, but I don't remember the last time the Chiefs had a game where they didn't have multiple penalties on special teams. And that's frustrating as hell, because even though we're not having great returns, you're just giving them an extra 10 yards every punt because we're getting called for holding, and Remedio's back there dancing around, doesn't know how to just go. He likes to think that he's going to find something. I've never seen him find something, but those penalties, they're killer on special teams like that. And it seems like the Chiefs were starting, inside their own 10 the majority of the day after those punts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's another thing on the penalties that I wanted to bring up that was from Bob, because I promised him that I would at least represent his ideas today because he couldn't be here. Sadly, Bob is still recovering from his procedure, so we're hoping to have him back midweek, although it's probably only going to be a couple of days because it's such a short week for us football-wise. But hopefully he'll come back and be able to join us again. We miss you, Bob. But he said he thinks that these refs should start having, and not just the refs today, but the refs in general around the NFL. There's been a lot of controversy with flags this season in the NFL. It just seems more than last year. It seems to be growing each year. But he said that the refs should be allowed to be publicly, was it flogged, Mel? Do you remember when he said that? Publicly beaten. But it's emphasis on publicly. He wants them to be embarrassed. What say you?
I just think we need to hold them more accountable. I think they need to have to answer for some calls that are not going well. And I think we just need to figure out why it is. I get that they don't have the best view on every single play, right? Like, there's not enough of them to make sure that they can see the slow motion, like, recap that we see on the TV. But at the same time, New York needs to do a better job, I think. In my opinion, they're the ones failing to not call in plays that need to be overturned or need to be reviewed or need to take another look at them. I really, really hate when you can't review a play. Like, when something is within this, like, realm of unreviewable.
Clearly wrong.
Yeah.
Even though it's blatantly apparent that something was wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's so ridiculous to me that that's a rule. But
I will say that I think that the majority of the universe would laugh to hear 3 Chiefs fans complaining about the refs. But
100%.
But it's true. I mean, it is kind of the narrative that we've been dealing with for a few years, and so be it. And no, it's not rigged and all of that kind of stuff. But I mean, we get as mad about the refs as anybody else. It's just that people watch the Chiefs more than anybody else because we've got all the primetime games. It was weird having a noon game today. I don't know what to do with refs.
So weird.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I
was saying that about the refs last year. I absolutely believe that there needs to be another ref on the field. And probably another one in the booth too, just to kind of help with the overhead. And we were 15-2 last season, and I was saying that I don't understand why another set of eyes can't help. And we all know the NFL can afford one more ref.
And I know that like, I'm also not saying that the refs were against the Chiefs in this game. I think the refs were just bad on both sides. I think that they made poor calls on both sides. I think that they missed calls on both sides. And honestly, if you look at the stats at the end, Indy had 11 penalties for 83 yards and we had 7 for 57 yards, right? So I'm more concerned about the missed calls. Well, and the phantom face mask. That one was bizarre. But one bad call a game, I'm not going to get up in arms about.
It's going to happen. It's human error.
But that many bad calls or missed calls just rubs me the wrong way. I just don't like it. I don't like watching football like that. I don't want there to be this excuse of blaming the refs for anything. I just want it to be even. And if you're going to make a call about holding, make it on both teams. If you're going to not count something as pass interference, make it on both teams. And I think that's fine, but be consistent.
What about that? Go ahead, Tom.
I was going to say, let's talk about the positives. When was the last time we've gotten to talk about a win? And we're sitting here complaining about the refs.
All right. Well, hold on. I got one more thing about the refs before we move on. The blindside block penalty. Wasn't that on a return? I mean, I can't remember who it was on, but our guy hit him directly in front. I mean, they were facing each other. But they explained it in the booth. Tony Romo said something about, the direction that they're... Yeah, that's right.
It wasn't on a return. It was on a pass.
Whatever it was, he said something about the direction. So I always thought a blindside block was hitting the guy in the back. Is that Am
or
I
coming
not?
from the side where they're not aware,
Yeah,
hitting
but this
them
they
in
hit
their
straight
blind
on.
side.
It
Yeah.
Right.
absolutely. I mean, they
Not
were straight
right
on.
directly in front of
I
them
don't
where
know.
they're staring at you and you hit them. It says, so an illegal blindside block is a block initiated on an opponent who cannot see the blocker approaching when the blocker makes forcible contact with their helmet, shoulder, or forearm.
But the way it was explained on TV was, well, when there's a block that's going in the direction of your end zone, then they're going to call that, even if you are in the field of vision. And I just need to know, well, why is that a rule?
Yeah,
Right.
that doesn't make sense. And I think it was the very next play that Mahomes scrambled for like 8 yards in the first. And I was screaming at that point about penalties, and I was like, "Where's the penalty? Come on! There's a first down for the Chiefs. Where's the penalty?" Mahomes ran for a first down, and his left foot hit the ground too many times while he was running. And Bob's like, "You got to repeat that in the podcast tonight." But I mean, it was true. It just felt like every time that something good happened for our offense, they were like, "No, that can't be."
Yeah, and that is our bias because it wasn't every time, but we definitely, it just seemed like it was so hard for us to get a little bit of momentum, and every time we did, it kind of was tempered
smothered and covered.
But like Tom said, we did win, guys.
So let's be positive. All the doom and gloom about the refs and all of this kind of stuff, some good stuff happened. We already talked about Kareem Hunt. I mean, way to go, old man. That was a great performance. I mean, he got over 100 yards. What happened to the guy on the other side of the ball or the other team?
Yeah.
But, Rice had a great day. He was quiet the majority of the game, but when he came to life, he really came to life and had big impact on the game.
And with a little bit of a hammy injury going on there at the end, and still came up with some big plays.
He came up with a big play. The play after the play following the one that he actually got hurt on. That was a huge first down.
And I thought it was funny. I kept saying that he keeps trying to sneak into the huddle, and they kept pulling him back. They're like, no, not yet. He's like, how about now? And just kept kind of sneaking in. I even made a joke.
To walk on.
Yeah, I was like, he's gonna ask Juju for his jersey here in a second so that he can get in.
Yeah, he was definitely.
Xavier Worthy had a good game, had some crucial catches for sure. What did he have? He had 59 yards on 4 receptions. Kelsey, solid Kelsey day, 40 yards, 4 receptions. I mean, you'd like to see him get a little bit more involved. I think Kelsey actually messed up on a couple of routes. You saw where he and Mahomes weren't on the same page, where we're so used to seeing them both know exactly what the other is thinking. There were a couple times where Mahomes was expecting him to cut up the field where there was nothing but green grass in front of him, and he didn't.
Well, but and Romo mentioned something about that where he was like, Mahomes and Kelsey have this kind of connection where Kelsey runs to an open spot, not necessarily the spot that the route
Kelsey's route had been blocked. Yeah.
Right. But Mahomes was going through his progressions so quickly that he wasn't like waiting to see if Kelsey got open or not. Right. And then he was just like going through them and trying to see everything at once instead of like taking a second. And I know that's because there was pressure coming. Like the majority of the time there was pressure coming. So once Mahomes starts getting consistent pressure, I feel like his game totally changes. He, starts going really quickly through his progressions. He starts not wanting to. I think the pick at the very beginning put him at a disadvantage because he's more cautious with the ball after that, right? He doesn't take as many chances. He's not scared that he's going to, And we even saw it, like he did throw a deep bomb to Thornton, and usually the first deep bomb to Thornton is overthrown, but then the second one they get, and they didn't try the second one. So we never got to see the Thornton bomb.
No, but I like that he keeps trying. They're not just stopping because they're not connecting on those every time.
I do want to say that I think one of the most impressive plays was Noah Gray catching the ball with his legs, unconscious, and it not hitting the ground somehow.
I mean, never touched the ground.
He seemed out. And I mean, his eyes were glazed over.
Like when he let go of the ball. Arm.
Yeah.
I feel like he let go of the ball and he was not there. Like he was just like, and then it stayed somehow in the little crick of his leg and then his elbow.
It was incredible. I mean, as the thing was happening and they called a completion, I was even saying, I was like, that's incomplete.
No way.
Yeah, no.
And then they showed the replay and I was like, I still think. And then they showed it from another angle and I'm like, okay. But I mean, I don't know how, but okay.
That reminded me of a play from several years ago, Tyreek Hill. It was a long bomb into the end zone. He had to jump into the air backwards while he was running full speed, landed on his back, bobbled the ball. He even got up and thought it was incomplete.
Yeah, and he tipped it to himself 3 times.
Yeah, that was an amazing catch, man. That was so crazy. Yeah. Good for Noah Gray. Noah Gray had a pretty damn good game today, too.
He did.
Strong.
He is officially out on a concussion protocol right now, though.
I would believe that.
Yeah.
Mahomes, not a terrible game. Didn't have any passing touchdowns, but still racked up 346 yards passing. The majority of that was yards after the catch, obviously. But, stats are stats. And
he had a 47-yard pass. I know that was yards after the catch. But
that was like an 11-yard through the air. And then
was that Rice?
Yeah, that was Rice.
Rice had 47. Worthy had 31. That was in the fourth there.
Yeah.
That was on that last drive, I think, of the fourth when they went down to tie.
Oh, yeah. This is great.
Well, we're talking about positives. Let's talk about the run defense and just, the defense as a whole in the fourth quarter and overtime. That was a huge positive. Huge. We went into the week kind of talking about how that run defense had to be on point. And we were hoping that they would be able to contain Taylor. There's no chance I would have ever guessed that the run defense was going to keep Jonathan Taylor to under 60 yards on the ground today.
It was impressive. I mean, they were attacking him at the line of scrimmage, and they weren't letting him find those creases or those holes to be able to break one. He wasn't ever really able, except for that one long run of his. I don't remember him ever being able to bounce it outside, which he's really good at. He wasn't very involved in the passing game.
He is like real wiggly though. Like you think he's down and then he like pops out of the pile and you're like, what the hell just happened? But there was somebody else there to get him, right? Like that's what the defense did well, is there was like a second layer of protection for when he popped out of the first layer.
Yeah, if you take away that 27-yard run, they held him to 2 yards per rush.
Yeah,
the rest of the game, which you can't do. Stats are there for a reason, but I mean, 2 yards per carry is.
It's crazy.
I mean, there were a few of those times, and what the Colts have been doing all season. You get to third and short, and you just hand it off. He's going to pick it up. He can get a yard or two.
We stopped him.
They couldn't today, and it was really impressive. I mean, you're used to having your heart broken every third down.
Oh my gosh, I know.
But the Chiefs were standing up and stopping them and forcing them to punt so that we could get a penalty on the punt. And but it
started our own 5-yard line just to make it exciting.
Let's go ahead and start all the way back here again.
Yeah. We want to go the whole field. We don't want this, wimpy stuff.
That's how you get the stats.
Right?
Can't get those big stats if you start at the 50 every time. So.
Right? I will say our time of possession. Did you guys see the time of possession?
No.
We had the ball 42 minutes and the Colts had it for 25.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Wow. You know why? Because our run game was working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And theirs wasn't. And they
those
stopped
3 and
running.
outs at the end of the fourth quarter was.
Oh, yeah.
Was
the fourth quarter was the most imbalanced. And like we said, they didn't do anything in the fourth quarter. They literally didn't do anything in the fourth quarter. They had the ball for 3 minutes to our like 12 minutes.
Right. And like I said earlier, I think it was 18 yards that they gained in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah. Chris Jones today impressed me a lot.
So we didn't get any sacks.
No.
But we had pressure.
We did have pressure. It did take blitzing to do it, which thank God they actually did blitz. But man, he never gave up. His attitude to me is almost sometimes more detrimental than his play on the field. You know, when he starts to get down and things aren't going the way that he expects them to go, he can let that get into his head, and he didn't. I didn't feel like what I saw in the fourth quarter and overtime, they didn't give up. And if Chris Jones, I'm sorry, man, but if Chris Jones isn't playing at his best in those moments, then the defense can't do it. Like, they can't work without Chris Jones being effective.
Right.
You're right. I mean, even though they didn't have any sacks, he influenced a lot of those plays and hurried the throw. That resulted in overthrows, blatant misses, and he was back there in the backfield quite a bit when that handoff was going to Taylor. He definitely impacted this game. Now we've got to pay. If I go to buy two Big Macs tomorrow, I got to pay for both of them, but that's fine because the McRib's here. So you get a McRib meal, get a second McRib for $1. So you know what? That's fine, Chris. That's fine.
All right. We won't get our Big Macs tomorrow, but still appreciate you.
And what about Cook? Cook had a really good game today. He was all over the place. He was making open field tackles. He had some really tight coverage. What was the other note I had? Oh, closing the gap on throws to the flat. There were a few throws out to the flat where, the guy was open and he had to get out there, and he made the tackle. I was thoroughly impressed with the way Cook played today.
I agree. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the defense as a whole, the linebackers, it didn't seem like they were as involved as they usually are, but they were on some big plays. I mean, Tranquil always comes up big. Love Bolton because pretty much every snap, he's in the frame of wherever the tackle happened. Bolton's always there somewhere. And
Bolton, remember the play that he changed the call, like in the, like it was, I think, a third or a fourth down on their end, and he changed the call, and they changed the call, and then we stopped him completely. We stuffed. I don't know that they're running back. Yeah,
I don't know that I caught that, but I don't doubt it.
Yeah, he killed it. Chanel also had a really good game. Like I saw Chanel more than I have recently. His name, not like flashy, but he was always there with whether it was Taylor or who's their running back, or Taylor's their running back, Taylor or Jones. Like he was always there. I feel like getting pressure and making some good plays.
I feel a lot more comfortable with, because I think we're losing Tranquil after this season, right? Or is it next season? We're going to lose Tranquil, I believe. And I think Leo is making a strong case to show the Chiefs that, hey, I'm your guy. I can do the same things that Tranquil can do, and I'm 10 years younger or whatever it is.
Let's see. Leo had 3 solo tackles, 6 total. Cook led the team with 8 total tackles, 5 of them solo tackles. Bolton was second. Roland Wallace third with tackles, but then Chanel fourth, McDuffie fifth, and then Tranquil sixth. Tranquil with 2 tackles for loss. So
there you go.
Yeah.
What a game!
Defense looked good. They're gonna have defense is gonna have their hands full next week too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Or should I say this week?
This week. Yeah.
Definitely gonna have their hands full. There's a lot of playmakers out there down there.
Which leads us to our first comment. HD said, "We fly out to Dallas on Wednesday morning for the game at Jerry World, hoping they can get healthy enough to win in such a short time." I mean, like right now, I haven't really done a whole lot of research towards the Dallas Cowboys yet, But I think the Colts game was a lot scarier to me. I think the Colts game was the big game for the remainder of the schedule. So I don't want to say I'm not nervous for that, because the Chiefs are not playing at the top of their game, but I think they're progressing. I think they just have a few things to clean up. But that's cool. HD
that's a very Andy Reid answer. I think the Cowboys are not as good of a team as the Colts for sure. I think the quick turnaround, but it's for both teams. I mean, Dallas is playing right now, right? So it's a little bit less of a turnaround for them. But I think the scarier thing to me is the fact that I feel like this year's Chiefs are so much better than last year's Chiefs, but they're just can't find a way to win. And I don't know, like, obviously that makes them not as good, but I think the talent we have right now and the execution that we're putting it on the field, just not as consistently as we need to, is better this year.
Yeah, and I think that's
don't disagree.
Yeah.
I don't disagree. I mean, I think this team is better. I just don't. I can't put my finger on what's off.
I know.
The chips just aren't falling like they did in our favor. Last year was kind of crazy.
Last year was nuts. Totally insane.
Some of those endings. How many blocked field goals have you seen to win a game ever?
I mean, I felt like, I feel like that was the worst thing that could have happened to us going into the Super Bowl, because we just were so confident that no matter what happened, we're going to figure it out. And then we definitely didn't.
I'm DeBrown said it's the play calling. It's the attention to detail this year. I kind of talked about this early, a couple of weeks ago, that the play calling, I've talked about it several times, actually, over the last couple of seasons. I've kind of expected, with Andy Reid, there's always some kind of trick plays. There's always some kind of gadget plays that he's kind of holding up his sleeve for big plays. I think we saw one or two of them today. I mean, that Kelsey direct snap up the middle that was a touchdown and got called back for some bullshit. That was the kind of play that I think we've come to expect from Andy Reid. And last season, I thought he was kind of holding out for the playoffs. We never saw it. This season, I'm almost to the point where I'm not even expecting it anymore. But now we're starting to see a little something. I don't know. I'd love to see who designed that play, because a lot of times with Andy, he'll take plays from anybody. He'll take them from players on the field. He took a play from a janitor one time in Philadelphia and scored a touchdown on it. That's a pretty famous story he likes to tell.
Awesome.
But we just haven't seen as much of it, and I don't know why. And is it Reid is getting old and it's just harder to come up with?
Is it a little bit of the fun factor? I mean, they like they're having as much fun as they usually do out there. We used to always joke that if Mahomes is standing on the sideline, he's got a smile on his face, you're done.
Yeah.
He's about to cook you.
Yeah.
And I mean, this year, it's obviously the record has a lot to do with it. There's been a lot of missed opportunities, and it just doesn't seem like they're having as much fun as they usually do. And it'd be great to see them get back to that. Thursday's a holiday, so maybe they'll have fun.
Right.
If you play well, you get a turkey leg at the end of the game, and maybe they'll go out there and have a little bit of fun. But it's going to be an interesting game. The defense today made me feel a lot better about the game coming up, because
absolutely
that's a hell of an offense in Dallas.
Yeah.
There's no taking away from that. So as long as the defense can stand up to that, I don't think the Chiefs are going to have any problems scoring points. But containing them is really what's going to come down to how that game's going to go.
I don't know. I think the Chiefs had some problems scoring points today. I mean, those two first field goals should have been touchdowns. And there was another one later in the game that concerns me. They didn't have a whole lot of problems marching down the field to get there, but closing the deal, it's very un-Mahomes-like to have this kind of problem. That's a little concerning. But to me, that's one of the things that they got to just clean a little bit up, like Andy says. I really do believe they're just this far away, and if they get that figured out. But my big question is the defense. did they figure something out? Did something just start clicking today, like at the beginning of the fourth quarter, that all right, now they all understand what Spags wants and how to get there, and this is how to be a dominant defense in the NFL going forward? Or was this just he made the right adjustments in that specific game? And
I think it's the fact that they stopped running. I think they stopped running. They weren't as worried about the run, so they weren't as hyper-focused on the run, and they could play a different style of defense. And I think that was Indianapolis's fault, not as much it was a good adjustment on our end based on Indy not continuing on with the run. I think if they would have continued on with the run, I think we would have seen a similar defensive battle.
Well, and defensively, this is what the Chiefs do every year. I mean, they have a good defense, but as the season rolls on and everybody gels, and come playoff time, the defense is always a top 10 defense.
Yeah.
In
fact, always terrified about the defense at the beginning of the year. Every year. Yeah. We're always like, these are horrible.
And that's because of Mahomes' first season as a starter. The defense was just atrocious. And then the second year, it didn't get much better. But since then, it's consistently gotten better. They've added some pieces. Everybody's buying into Spag's scheme. And by the end of the season, when it is playoff time, that defense is humming.
The problem is this season, there's zero room for error at this point. I mean, the defense, I think at this point, I think they're ready for the playoffs. As long as injuries don't step in, I think defense is settled. As long as the offense is ready to show out and really get things clicking. Hopefully that happens really soon, because if not, I mean, I don't think we can afford one more loss.
We can afford one more.
You think?
It's going to have to be this week then. That's about the one that we can afford. The NFC loss is the one that we can afford.
Yeah.
You know what really stings is that winning this game against the Colts, great for the Chiefs, keeps them in the conversation, but it helps Denver. Ugh.
Yeah. It's hard to swallow, right?
Yeah. Oh, well. You take the good, you take the bad.
I know.
You take them both, and now you have the facts of life.
Yeah.
Is that copyright? Are we going to get in trouble for copyright?
Yeah, right.
No,
I think one thing to bring back on the Chiefs not having as much fun this year, I agree. They don't look like they're having as much fun. They're not having as much fun because they keep losing. But I also think Andy's not pulling out. I don't think it's that Andy's old. I don't think it's that Andy doesn't have these plays. I think he's like, we're not executing on the basic
easy
plays
stuff
and the fundamentals, that I'm not going to give you guys these trick plays to come out there and, mess that up or think that that's the only way that we can get to the next level. I think it's just not. We've always done the trick plays. Mahomes has always been laughing and smiling on the sidelines when we're just in a place where we know we can win. We're not in that place this year. We don't know we can win. We've shown ourselves multiple games that we can't win these close games that we were winning every time last year. And as crazy as they were last year, we were still all very confident every game that we were going to pull something out somehow, some way. This year is not the same.
Yeah, I'm losing confidence in these one-score games. I mean, I'm at the point where I don't have the full confidence that it can happen. I know it can, so I know in my heart that, the talent is there. I just don't necessarily, in the Super Bowl when we were getting waxed, I still had full belief that Mahomes, well into the third quarter, that Mahomes and company could get things done. And I still think that they could have got things done if they'd have made some adjustments. But that's not what we saw. And now my confidence is shattered. 2 years ago, down by 3 in the fourth quarter, good luck. You're not beating Mahomes. You've got to be beating him by 2 scores late in the fourth, or it's going to be a game. Right. This season, maybe not. It's just, I was impressed with how they stayed. They stayed at it, even though it looked for a long time in this game like they just didn't have it to beat the Colts. But they absolutely didn't stop. They didn't give up. the
they kept
tenacity
going.
was there. Yeah,
It felt
I
like
loved
the
it.
Colts were holding them at arm's length the entire game.
Yeah.
And then
Mhm.
finally the fourth happened.
Right.
And that's what we've been accustomed to seeing over the years is
Right.
how
Yeah.
that fourth quarter went. It's time to take over the game, put it to bed, let's go. It's unfortunate that it had to go to overtime. That should have
Mhm.
been a win in regulation.
Agreed.
I mean, we made them burn all their timeouts and then we just went
Yeah.
backwards from the 1 yard line.
Yeah.
So, but still to be able to execute in overtime, Colts took the ball first, defense with the big stop. And then it doesn't matter for the rest of my life. As long as Harrison Butker takes the field anywhere, I'm going to be nervous. I can't trust the guy. That's just how I feel about it.
But he's so good. It's just, there's these little moments where it's just like, but
well, it was
I mean,
5 games in a row.
We can't forget about he has won so many games for us.
He's so clutch.
He's so clutch. So, but I get it. I'm the same way. I was actually shocked that we went for the 4th and 3. I know it was a 61-yard field goal, so I get that it was going to be a long one, but I was kind of shocked that we went for the 4th and 3 and didn't pull in Harrison Butker to try for the field goal to win.
I wasn't shocked. I did kind of think that they would, but I was vehement that I don't want the ball in the foot of the kicker that has struggled at any point this season, especially with as long as he struggled, consecutively. And I know he's gotten it back together. He's had 4 or 5 games now in a row where he hasn't made a mistake. But at that point, give it to Mahomes, give it to Kelsey, give it to Hunt, give it to the guys that have been
what you did for 3 downs and they didn't do it.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying is like they had 3 chances to get it across that line. And I'm so glad that they got it on that 4th. But I mean, it was a game. I'm surprised that Andy made that decision, to be honest. I'm surprised that he if it was 4th and 1, I think absolutely we go for it every time, right? But 4th and 3, that's not.
It's just you're in that tricky area of the field where
I know.
if he misses it and the Colts get the ball there, then you're in a bad position.
Yeah, they got to get 15 yards to get a good field goal attempt for their kicker, And
when you feel like picking up 3 yards is a little bit more of a better chance than having Butker come out and kick a 61-yard field goal. Maybe Andy feels the exact same way I do. Every time he goes out there, you just close your eyes.
Yeah.
And I even said at the end of regulation when he was about ready to kick that 25-yarder to tie the game, I was like, how fitting would it be for this season that he just goes out there and shanks it, and that's pretty much it for the Chiefs. But he didn't, and
no.
We continue on.
I was still nervous though at the end with that field goal. I was absolutely still nervous.
I'm nervous every time he takes the field now. I agree with Tom.
To be fair, I'm nervous every time the offense takes the field.
Too. He screwed up a kickoff and cost us a game earlier this season.
I mean, I was nervous that Hunt was going to fumble the ball again in that game, even though he hasn't fumbled the ball hardly ever. But I was still nervous. I was nervous that Mahomes was going to throw a pick. I think we're just nervous now. We're just nervous.
I would be interested to see. I think Hunt has only fumbled for the Chiefs twice.
Yes,
ever.
They were talking about that on my drive home. He fumbled in his first NFL carry.
Very first carry.
Yes. And then he had like 130 all-purpose yards in that game because he felt so terrible. And I think that's exactly what we saw when he fumbled that ball today. He got up. He was disappointed in himself.
Like, distraught.
He was absolutely distraught. But it wasn't one of those like, God, like shit just happens to me. He was like, I made a mistake. He took ownership of it. You could almost see that in his eyes. He took ownership of it. He's like, I'm not going to do that again. I love that they trusted him. They gave it right back to him. And he, they were talking about it after that. He had 5 points of contact on the ball at all times. But like you said, Tom, that's just not been a problem for Kareem Hunt.
No.
And I don't think it was a problem for him in Cleveland either. He's just been a hell of a ball handler.
I mean, everybody's gonna fumble occasionally, right?
I mean, 2 out of 800 ain't bad.
Yeah,
he did a flip And he was so close to
he was mid somersault.
Yeah, like he was rolling over. Maybe he, I don't know. It was definitely a hard play, but it was at the worst time.
Now, somebody had said, this was at my house in my viewing party. Somebody had said that Kelsey was yelling at him or kind of looked like he was irritated with the fumble. Did you guys catch that? I didn't catch it.
I saw it, but I saw Kelsey being like, "It's fine, Hunt. You're good. Get out there. Get back. You're good." Yeah. That's what I was seeing.
You. This is a one-off. It was a mistake. Go out there and prove who you are. I completely.
I was gonna say, if Captain Tip Drill's out there yelling about turnovers, I don't want to hear it. So
Captain Tip Drills. Damn it, we should make that T-shirt.
Oh gosh,
Captain Tip Drills.
No, I got it as he was trying to pump him back up because Hunt, I think, was beating himself up about it, but he was yelling at him. It was more just like a yell of like, "You got this. You're great. Get back
positive
in there."
Reinforcement. Okay, that's good to hear because I didn't catch it, and I was like, "No way." I mean, now when he was yelling at Taylor that one game,
that's fair.
Jawan, not Swift.
Yeah.
But when he was yelling,
I guess that's.
I told you I'm playing a game. Leave me alone. God,
texted me.
Oh man! So we went up to a 68% chance to be in the playoffs with this win.
Really?
Yeah.
A what percent?
68%.
Sorry, I was reading Brian's comment and trying not to laugh.
If we would have lost, we would have gone to a 33% chance.
Brian said, "I find it extremely hard to believe that it was Andy's idea to run the ball 37 times. I think Clark Hunt's loafer is still stuck in his butt."
Ew.
I don't know about all that, but I mean, who was the one that said we're going to run the ball 37 times, like it or not, Andy? I doubt Clark Hunt said that.
Yeah, no way. I think it's what
the game called for.
I think the game called for it. I think it was working. We never saw the run multiple attempts in a row not get us at least enough yards as to what we needed, right? And I think Andy is one where if Hunt was having a game like Taylor, where the defense was stopping him, I think Andy would have done the same thing and completely gone away from the run and just done the pass. I think the only thing that could have been different is potentially they didn't give Mahomes as many run pass option plays this time, and they were a lot more just run plays. I think that could be it, because you've got to think Mahomes has a lot of power at the line of scrimmage too. And I think Mahomes, sometimes the play is called a run, and Mahomes is the one that changes it to say, no, we're not going to run. This isn't a good look. We're going to pass, right? And I think maybe they said, no, this time we're going to run, and as long as it's working, we're going to stick to it.
Do you think Mahomes
is... with it?
Yeah, you think
was a
Mahomes
good idea.
Is one? Yeah.
I don't know that it's all on Mahomes. I'm just saying I think there's multiple factors at play, and I don't think Clark Hunt had anything to do with it.
It was a pretty huge talking point all week as well. I mean, coming off the Denver loss, it was the one thing that everybody was kind of focused in on, that they ran it 8 times, I think, against Denver. Yeah. 8 rushing attempts. Who are you going to beat in the NFL with 8 rushing attempts? Those RPOs aren't selling anybody when they know, he ain't going to run it.
Right.
I mean,
but to be fair, that's been the narrative all season. Well, all Andy's career, really. He just doesn't like to run unless he's got that big name running back.
Right. He had LaShawn McCoy. He ran a lot. He had Westbrook. He ran a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think it's Andy's. I think Andy is one that's going to put it in the player's hands that has the most likelihood of success, and that hasn't been our running backs.
I thought a lot of it at times fell on the O-line. I didn't know if they could block efficiently enough to consistently run the ball, but today they proved that they can. And Hunt is pretty squirrely, so he's got power, but he's still squirrely.
He runs hard.
Yeah.
But I also didn't see big gaping holes like I saw for, I guess I didn't see that on the Colts, but I've seen other teams have some big gaping holes at times. And I think, like you said, Hunt is squirrely and he's just good at squeezing through small spaces for that body size. And Pacheco, I don't think is good with those spaces, but I don't think that this line is the best run blocking line in the world. I don't know if that's what is kind of holding this team back from running a whole lot. But we saw it. We saw it. It was effective today. 30 rushes for 104 yards by Kareem. It's successful, but it wore on him. It wore on him. We saw it was clear.
Of course, the guy's 57 years old. I mean,
yeah.
But I got to know though.
So I was kind of talking to Bob about this. So he came in last season because Pacheco went down and he was on the couch. And I know he had been working out, but I'm sorry, if you're not on an NFL team and active, then you just can't be in full football shape. And so when he was getting tired at the end of games last season, I think we all chalked it up to he was just giving us everything he's got. I kind of didn't really expect it. I mean, Pacheco's only been out, 2 games? I didn't.
Yeah. Right. But do you think that, so Hunt came in with this fire under him last year, right? Because he was like, wow, I have a second chance with the Chiefs. We could go to a Super Bowl. We could get a 3-peat. Like he put everything into it. This year, his conditioning had to be different because he knew he was going to be the third down back, right? So it maybe wasn't always, so his conditioning might not be about stamina. It's more
burst.
about bulking up and being able to get 2 yards when you need it and all of that. So you have to think that has something to do with it. And then him going in and then having a 30 rush attempt game that's probably more than he's ever gotten the ball since he came back, right?
Yeah, insane.
Yeah.
To think that, Kareem Hunt is getting 30 carries. The other thing that really kind of blew my mind, and I had to look this up, and I'll die on this hill, but why are we handing Clyde the ball? Clyde had 5 attempts for 8 yards. Meanwhile, rookie Brashard Smith, 1 rushing attempt, only 1 for 5 yards. He had 3 less yards than Clyde on 4 less carries. I just don't understand why you would hand Clyde the ball, and why are we not using and abusing, for lack of a better term, a rookie running back? That's the freshest a running back is going to be.
Brashard actually did have another run, and it was for 12 to 15 yards and a first down, but it got called back by a penalty.
Yeah.
That's his MO, I feel like.
Clyde had a couple of decent runs today. He broke some tackles. There was
his longest run was 4 yards.
Clyde,
they were
he had 5 carries for 8 yards. Now, granted, 2 of those carries were for losses, so one of those carries may have been decent, but I don't know. I just don't understand why you wouldn't just pound the hell out of it with a rookie running back. Just let him go.
You know what? Maybe they're just thinking, listen, we paid so much money for Clyde. He never really did anything for us. We just want to see. I don't know.
Isn't he still on a rookie contract? Or, wouldn't this be the last
they dropped
year
him.
Option?
They dropped him.
Oh, yes.
Picked him back up.
So not too much money on Clyde. Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe the rookies got fumbleitis in practice, and they're like, man, we just can't. We don't trust it.
There's got to be something. There's got to be something behind the scenes.
Though.
No.
And he had a couple of good catches.
2 or 3 carries, though. It's not like he did. I saw him one time. He was scrambling.
3 receptions for 31 yards.
Yeah, there was one. There was one that was really, really good. He scrambled and he rerouted himself, and then it allowed Mahomes to pass it to him. That was good to see, especially from a rookie, right? Who's not just going to stand in the spot where he's supposed to be and kind of reading the defense and stuff. So I enjoyed that.
Another thing about Brashard Smith is absolutely every reception that he gets, Bob will stand up from the couch and be like, I told you, just like Westbrook.
Oh
he looks just like Westbrook,
Every
man.
time.
We need to be doing this more. And I mean, honestly, I think they are kind of stepping it up a little bit with him in the pass game. And I think he's been effective. I mean, 3 receptions on 4 attempts or 4 targets for 31 yards. That's effective.
I'm not going to be happy with it if you're still handing the ball to Clyde 5 times.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to be happy with it.
Yeah.
I see no reason why Clyde gets the ball and the rookie doesn't.
Yep. HD Chiefs fan agrees with you. He said 5 years he never produced. How much more do you need to see?
I know. I was kidding.
Apparently, they needed to see 5 more carries at least.
Yeah.
Every time he goes,
the only ones. I haven't heard any pro Clyde Edwards-Helaire talk from anybody anywhere.
Every time I saw him in the backfield, I was like, well, this is a loss of 3. I'm going to go grab some more food. I'll be right back down.
It's just unreal. It's unreal that we brought him back and for some reason think that he's going to save the day.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that they're thinking he's going to save the day. It's just, I mean, the definition of insanity, though, is just trying the same thing over and over and over.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, again, 5 years later, we're going to expect him all of a sudden like, oh, wow, he broke one. Like, I don't remember the last time he broke a run over 20 yards.
Oh.
HD has a good comment here. He said, I think the run game was a result of Mahomes not overthinking the defense and calling an audible to check out of the run. I don't disagree with this statement. The only thing that I'm still kind of puzzled about is in the passing game, it did look like Mahomes was overthinking a lot. I think, that a few of his sacks were him overthinking. I know the coverage. I saw the replay on most of those, if not all of them, and the coverage was absolutely blanket out there. He had nobody to throw to, but it still looked like he was overthinking. But I can't argue with this statement whatsoever. Do we think that that's what we're going to see going forward, though? I don't know if the Chiefs think, we got the win. This is the formula to be down until the very end of the game and then take it to overtime and win. But Mahomes was more comfortable and, he wasn't overthinking everything. I don't know that that's the way they want to win every game.
I do. Well, I at least hope that, I mean, it was blatantly apparent that if you run the ball, it's really efficient. And look, it kept them in that game. It kept them from the quick 3 and outs that we've been seeing a lot this season, where, I mean, once you get behind, Mahomes is like, got to make it happen, got to make it happen. And then next thing you know, we're punting because it's harder. I mean, that's where a good run game is really important to keep an offense moving down the field. And today it showed. It kept the Chiefs in the game, kept them within that arm's length, that it kind of felt that they were right there the whole game, but they were keeping pace with them, once it got to that 11 points, it started to balance out, and then you felt the momentum starting to turn. And that was because Kareem was able to go out there and keep getting yards, and we were able to continue shutting down Taylor. And I think that was the huge difference in the game as it went on, as defensive lines get tired. And hopefully they don't just say, great, now let's abandon that for next week, because that's a very Andy thing to do, is just abandon the run.
It is.
Even mid-game, like, oh, we're going to try this. 2 carries later, say, yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, that was fun. Casey Colossal has a good comment here. He said, Clyde and Jonathan Taylor came from the same draft class. We could have had Jonathan Taylor. That's a great point. Unless you were actually saying that during the draft, I mean, it's all hindsight, right? I mean, Ricky Williams was like that. He was a great running, or not Ricky Williams, Priest Holmes was behind Ricky Williams in college. So a lot of teams passed on Priest Holmes just because they didn't know what he could bring to the table, because they just didn't have a way to know. He was behind somebody, and then he was behind, I can't remember who he was behind before he came to Kansas City. But anyway, he's one of the best runners. He's probably the best running back in Chiefs history. One of the top running backs. We got a lot of old heads here that would probably argue that there was somebody better back in the 60s and 70s, but he was still one of the best running backs in our history. And
Priest?
We just didn't know at the time. Nobody knew.
Yeah. I mean, for what it's worth, we could have had Tom Brady too 6 times.
Mm-hmm.
But
and the Bears could have had
6
Mahomes.
times.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, clearly Trubisky was a better talent coming out of college.
Sometimes you strike gold, sometimes you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just, just the nature of the draft.
kind
Nobody
of
thought Mahomes was going to be what Mahomes was. I mean,
exactly.
So saying that we could have had Jonathan Taylor, yes, that's true. But think about those Chicago fans that are like, good.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But it is kind of fun,
I'd rather have Mahomes than Jonathan Taylor.
It's kind of fun, though, to think, what the Chiefs would look like with a Jonathan Taylor in the backfield. I also don't think if the Chiefs drafted Jonathan Taylor, he would look like he does today. I mean,
he'd have 5 carries for 8 yards.
He would have looked like how he looked today.
We would have just elevated him off of the practice squad to come in and back up old man Hunt.
Oh,
Casey
God.
Colossal said they wanted him. So, okay, cool,
Fair
man.
enough.
You were right. It sucks. But I also, like I said, though, I don't think he wouldn't be the same running back. He wouldn't have had the same opportunity to show what he's done there in Indianapolis if he was here. So,
especially that long ago, because we were so connected on the pass game, right? Like there was no need for us to run the ball. They knew we were going to pass it every time, and they still couldn't stop it. Like
I will say, physically speaking, and I don't know what Jonathan Taylor looked like coming out of college. I would assume he was at least similar to the size he is now. I mean, the size difference between Clyde and Jonathan, I would pick Jonathan every time. I mean, he just looks like a bigger, more durable guy.
I remember when Clyde was drafted, how people were freaking out saying that's not fair. The Chiefs shouldn't be allowed to draft a player like this because this is one hell of a secret weapon that to the arsenal and all of that. And all I've been doing since then is waiting, being like, maybe this is the game. But 5 years later, nope, still not the game.
This is not the game. Let's move on.
In fact, I'm starting to think football's not the game for him.
Yeah.
Like maybe bowling, something like that.
Right? Got a ping pong future.
What do we think here, guys? Do you guys see any comments? Witchy waved at us earlier today, but she's been kind of quiet since then. What's up, Witchy?
I do like HD Chiefs fan said the Raiders are making the Browns look like a Super Bowl contender. You got to love that. You got to love it. We may have helped the Broncos out today by beating the Colts, but consolation prize is watching the Raiders get their asses kicked. Always fun. By Shedeur Sanders at that.
Listen, give the people what they want in Cleveland. Give them Shedeur.
Why not?
Make it happen. Right? What do you got to lose at this point?
I
you drafted like 27 quarterbacks. I don't understand what your method was there. So
I was laughing my ass off just because how big-headed he was and how sure he was going to get drafted high, and he spent a bunch of money on his draft party, and he lost money, like, and all that stuff. But I kind of feel bad for the city of Cleveland. I mean, these poor schlubs that haven't seen a winning team in God knows how long, and
I feel bad for the city of Cleveland, but the Cleveland organization has done that to themselves. I mean, just awful decision making.
You know what? I wish Shedeur Sanders all the luck in the world. I hope he goes out there and has a great career. I don't hate on the guy. I just thought it was funny that he thought he was going to go so high up and then got shit on and drafted in like the 14th round or whatever.
I do. I think everything that sums up Cleveland is Baker Mayfield going down to Tampa and doing the thing and just playing his ass off. And Baker's a lot of fun to watch, but
Oh, yeah.
But Cleveland, in true Cleveland style, is, oh, God, we've had this guy for 3 years. We got to get rid of him. We need a new starting quarterback. That's the longest we've had somebody starting in ages.
Yeah.
So
if we don't make it to a Super Bowl with you in 2 years, we're done. Get out of here. Like, we can't make it happen. They're on their third quarterback this year, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh
that's correct. In fact, they traded Joe Flacco to the Bengals. So in the same division, they gave the Bengals a quarterback because the Bengals needed a quarterback. And Flacco hasn't been terrible. He hasn't been great.
I have him in fantasy. He's been fantastic in scoring me fantasy points. I'll tell you that much.
Casey Colossal actually has a pretty good question here. What does the run game look like going forward? Well, I don't think it looks like 30. What does it look
like, or what do we want it to look like?
I don't think it looks like 36 rushes from your running backs again.
Do you
I don't know, maybe.
Do you think that, here's the question, do you think that if Pacheco was given 30 rushes that he would have looked as good as Hunt or better?
No.
I don't
know.
I don't think so, because he needs holes to run through to get momentum going for the way that he runs. He's not going to, he's not going to break tackles. So no, I don't think he does have as many yards on that many carries. Also,
I do think that we can see a similar run game as what we've seen today moving forward if they commit to it. I think it's a good possibility once Pacheco comes back, though, because you can start alternating. I mean, 15 rushes for Hunt and 15 for Pacheco makes for a lot better on your off days, a lot fewer ice baths, a lot less recovery than going hard 30 carries. But I think it's definitely possible, and I think they should not go away from the run. They're going to need to be well balanced, and the more balanced they are, the more these receivers are going to be able to eat, and the more these deep shots are going to open up. And I mean, it just makes the offense click, and that's why I've been so confused as to why they just don't give it a chance.
I will say, if they kind of cleaned up some of those, what was it, 3 red zone possessions that ended in field goals instead of touchdowns today, had they cleaned up, honestly, just one of those, but 2 of those, and then the run game being the way that it is today, I guess looks a whole lot more effective to me. Because, to me, you're talking about the run game, and then I'm thinking about the score of the game, and we were behind the whole game, and it just, like I said, it doesn't make sense to win like that. But
we also gifted them their first touchdown.
Yeah, and the run game wasn't the problem.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the run game made it so that we could still capitalize after some pass fails, right? Where either pass fails or pressure fails because Mahomes had to scramble and throw the ball away, or he overthrew a receiver, or the receiver missed the ball, right? So I don't think that you look at this game and say, because we ran that much, that's why it was such a close game. I think we had more control because we ran that much. I think we stayed in the game because we ran that much.
But what I would like to see, and I mean, as a football fan, this frustrates me any game I'm watching, and this doesn't happen. When you get down to the 1, run it. Second down, run it. Third down, run it. Fourth down, run it again. If you can't get 1 yard in 4 tries, like, what are we doing?
We should hire Marshawn Lynch to just stand next to Andy Reid. So he can remind him, run it.
Well, didn't they, when they got down to the 1, they ran it.
They ran it on first, and I mean, he got clobbered. I mean, somebody came right through the line.
He lost a bunch of yards, and
but he lost 2. So I mean, run it again.
Yeah, but when you're on the 1 yard line, that's 200% loss in yardage.
Yeah.
I would have rather seen them go 3 straight, even if it was something stupid like just trying to run it up the middle, 3 straight instead of run it once and then be like, oh crap, we got to change this up. Incompletion. Mahomes can't figure out what to do. Sack. Like just run it. Just run it.
Yeah.
Blazing Bobby is in the house. He's listening. That's awesome, man. If you're on the goal line at Pacheco's the running back, I say do not run it. Yeah, I agree, but I don't think we would see Pacheco on the goal line.
No.
Yeah, I think we would see Hunt in that situation.
For sure.
But yeah, thanks for nothing, Bob. I love that he can't just like verbally respond right now. HD Chiefs fan said if Pacheco gets healthy, I think 36 carries between him and Hunt is possible. I think it's possible. I still don't think it's going to happen. I just think Andy is just way too set in his ways. I could be wrong.
I guess that's never
wrong.
anything we've said about Andy. Andy's never been so set in his ways. He's always been a coach that can adapt and that can evolve as the game has evolved. That's why he's been such a good head coach for as long as he has been, right? He's not just stuck in this is how you need to do it.
Yes, but no other coach has been so quick to abandon the run as Andy Reid.
But I mean, you saw them abandon the run with Jonathan Taylor today.
Somewhat. I mean, they still tried.
He wasn't effective.
Yeah.
I mean,
they had to.
Okay, but you could say that about most of our games. The run wasn't effective, so we
abandoned it.
He only tried running the ball 8 times against Denver.
No, that's not true, though. Really? I looked it up. We had
that doesn't seem
13 attempts.
13. Okay.
How many? Okay, but that's still low.
But how many of those were a running back?
That was it. 13 with Hunt.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, for the Broncos game. But they did 16 with Taylor this game, and he had 3.6 yard average. It's not like he was.
No, but again, 27 yards on that one run. You take that away, that's 31 yards on 15 attempts. That's 2 yards per attempt. He was stopped. That's stopped.
But so the first half, he had 7 rushes for a 3.1 average, right? The second half, he had 7 rushes for a 4.7 yard average. That's when he got the 27
yards in the second half, yeah.
Right, but they gave him 7 rushes a half, which is for, your almost best player on your team. That's crazy. We don't have that. We don't have a Jonathan Taylor on our team. So
no, we do not.
We
could have, as it was talked about earlier.
Obviously. But I feel like Andy's meter of give up on the run is much shorter than they are in Indianapolis, right? And they still didn't. I don't know.
HD Chiefs fan said Romo is an ass and needs to keep his mouth shut.
Listen, I love Romo.
I do too, man. I love HD, man. I don't agree with you on this one. I think he's one of the best announcers out there. I don't think he's partial. I really don't. Some people say he's partial to the Chiefs, and I've watched games before when I could see that point of view, but I think he's just he wants to be as informative as he can about some of the things that are going on during the game that the casual fan doesn't just know.
I feel like everybody has an opinion on Romo, whether they love him or hate him. I feel like there's no in between. I feel like people either really, really enjoy him or they really, really hate him. I don't think he has a bias towards the Chiefs. I do think he very much appreciates Mahomes. And
as a lot of ex-NFL players do.
Right. And you get the same from Tom Brady when he announces the games. You hear the same thing about how great Mahomes is and what he's thinking and all of that. But Tom, I'm curious to hear, do you like Romo?
He annoys the hell out of me.
That's good. We need to have somebody on the show.
I like his insight. He's a very smart announcer, and he's really good. I mean, since the beginning, he's really good at calling what the play is going to be before the play even happens. He's very, very in tune. But it gets so old when he's like, well, Jim, I mean, this feels like it's a must win. And it's like, shut up, Tony Romo. You've said that 127 times now this game. We get it, man. We get it. But he just gets stuck on something and won't let it go. And by the end of the game, it's like I'm so glad he's not doing the later games or the Monday game, and I don't have to hear him again until next week. He just
funny.
wears me out.
I love hearing Romo. I would probably not like hearing Romo as much if we didn't have Patrick Mahomes. Maybe then I would like pick up on more of those things because
he had a lot of advice for Patrick Mahomes today, and it always kind of cracks me up. I'm like, gee, Tony Romo, I bet Patrick Mahomes can't wait to take your advice. Maybe y'all could sit down and polish your Super Bowl rings together, or you can watch him.
That was a good one.
To be fair, I do think that Tony Romo was a good quarterback. I don't think he was a Mahomes level quarterback.
No, he was a good fantasy quarterback. He put up numbers.
He's Dak Prescott.
But you also, like, when you play the game, I think he was a very intelligent quarterback. I just don't think he could execute the way that Mahomes can, right? So I don't
think he's dumb by any means.
Yeah, so I think he knows what should happen. I just don't think he did it when he was playing. But, I mean, I get the same vibe from...
I don't know.
I get the same vibe from Tom Brady, too, right? When he calls the game for the Chiefs. I mean, he's in love with Mahomes. He absolutely loves watching Mahomes, and you can see it. His like excitement gets higher than when he's casting another game. So,
well, a lot of that is game recognizes game. You know, I mean, when you've got somebody out there playing at Mahomes level, and you used to play that position, and your job is to talk about the game, you're going to talk about the position you know the most about, and one of the best to ever do it. And so, sure, no, I get all that. It's just Jim.
I'll say this, man.
That's fair.
Tony Romo is 20 times better than what's that other? I just lost his name.
Aikman?
Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. Oh,
yeah,
absolutely
right
horrible. There. I'd rather turn off the audio and just watch in silence.
That's why I watch the Manning cast on Monday nights. I don't do the Joe Buck and Troy Aikman thing. I watch the Mannings talk to people while watching the game. So,
but even if it's our game,
what's that?
Like, do you watch the Mannings if it's the Chiefs game?
No, because my audience won't allow me to do it, and it drives me nuts. I would love to, because I would love to hear what the Mannings have to say. So I record it, and then I never go back and watch it.
I know.
But
the best announcer joke that I've ever heard, though, did come out of, I think it was Joe Buck. I don't think it was Troy Aikman, although it might have been Troy Aikman. It was last year. It was it was a home game for Kansas City. We had just taken a huge, I can't even remember which side it was for, if it was for us or the opponent. Whoever it was like 3rd and 30 or something like that. And he goes, and it's 3rd and Overland Park. And we all lost our shit right there on the couch. Like, I can't even believe I'm laughing at this guy, man, but that was funny. That was funny.
So funny. Oh, yeah. That was a good one. It's the only good one, but that was a good one.
Brian said that Romo said the Kelsey penalty was the stupidest flag he'd ever seen. Yeah, he said that because it was a stupid penalty. That wasn't a penalty. Kelsey did not.
Wrong.
He was absolutely right. But I think Brian is arguing this as evidence of why Romo sucks, because I don't think he likes Romo either. I could be wrong, but that was absolutely. I mean, he was just playing his guy. Yeah.
I don't know. That was one of the few times where I actually liked Romo's opinion.
You're like,
he's like, well, that's the dumbest flag I've ever seen. I was like, yeah, good on you, Tony Romo.
Oh, HG, man. This is a good one, man. Joe Suck and Troy Assman. I like it. We should make that t-shirt too.
No.
We need to start making a list of t-shirts that we need to make. Speaking of t-shirts, don't forget to check out our website, buckandbob.com, BUKNBOB.com. All of our videos, merchandise, everything that you can get is right there on our site. Please go check it out. And thank you to everybody that has checked it out. We appreciate you. Look at this awesome insulated mug I got at buckandbob.com.
Good job.
Buckandbob.com.
Delicious cold water.
All right.
What do you think, guys? Do we have anything that we missed about today's game that we need to cover? I think.
No, biggest takeaway, we still got a chance.
Still a chance.
We're still alive. So
do we like our chances better after the game then, from what we saw?
About 68% more.
Yeah. So, it's about a 30% swing on, if we would have won or lost. So, yeah.
For me, it's about, I think we're about 6 or 7% chance better than we were.
Oh, gosh. Well, here we go.
You and the statisticians would disagree completely.
6, 7.
Oh, my gosh.
My 6-year-old, man, everything is 6, 7.
Your 6-year-old?
Everything.
That's horrible.
Everything is 6, 7. She thinks it annoys me. I think it's adorable. I think it's so cute when she does it, because she is, and she thinks she's annoying me, which is even cuter, And yeah, I just chuckle and I'm like, "Oh, that's so annoying, Nora. Say it again."
Oh gosh. I just hope that we do well on Thursday.
Well, it's time to keep moving. Mm-hmm. It's going to take a little bit of help from the teams in front of us. I think somebody called that out in the chat earlier. I don't disagree. I mean, we're going to need some help. The Jags and the Bills both have the tiebreaker over us. We can kind of level out the tiebreaker against the Chargers. They're ahead of us as well. I mean, we have the tiebreaker against the Ravens, but the Ravens are now in the lead in their division because that division's terrible. So, but yeah. It's going to take a little bit of help, but none of it matters if the Chiefs can't go out and win their games. So,
right. I mean,
and I'm at least a little more optimistic they can do that now.
The Jaguars are only ahead by 3 against the Cardinals right now.
Yep.
And the Bills lost to the Texans. Good.
That's boy, Josh.
I don't want to talk about that. Josh Allen killed me in fantasy this week.
Same, but I mean, my gosh, that guy got beat up.
And the Cowboys are losing to the Eagles. So,
as expected.
Yeah.
yeah.
One game at a time. On Turkey Day, we'll go down. The guys are going to hang out at Jerry World. Hopefully it doesn't ruin our Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I still have a bad
Christmas
taste in my
year,
mouth.
Yeah.
I still have that.
Was it the Raiders? Was it the Raiders?
It was the Raiders.
Yeah. Which made it even worse. Even worse. Ugh. Yeah. Killed Christmas.
But, oh, well. It was a Christmas miracle for the Raiders.
Yeah.
We still went to the Super Bowl and won it that year, I believe. So,
I know.
Yeah. Who cares?
But they still ruined Christmas, okay?
Yeah. What a Raider thing to do.
All right, guys. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's do a quick thank you to all the people who joined into chat today. Brian Parrott, HD Chiefs fan. Witchy gave us just a little wave there at one point. Jay-Z the White, we didn't get to any of your comments, man. I'm sorry. You've always got some good stuff to say. Casey Colossal was pretty active today. Who we got? I'm DeBrown was here, showed up. Casey Colossal, I think that's it. Oh,
safe travels to HD Chiefs fan going down to the game at Jerry World. Safe travels.
Bring us some good luck.
Yes.
If we start losing, you should probably leave, just throwing that out
5 years ago, I would have said, bring me back some Whataburger. But now we have him here. And I guess he doesn't live in this state, so he couldn't bring it to me anyway. But whatever. Cool. I think we got everybody. Anything else, guys, before we sign off today?
I'm good.
No.
Oh, there was that one thing. But